Uh, I am Ritu Jolly, and we are live from the IIHM Kolkata studio. And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Mr. Shuvendu Banerjee here with us today. Mr. Banerjee incidentally graduated from IIHM in the year 2001. A number of years since you graduated from here, Mr. Banerjee.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the young IHMites and everybody on the call. I passed out in 2001 from the same college. It's a very proud moment to be here. Thanks for giving me this platform to speak to all of you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It's lovely to have you back here with us. So Mr. Banerjee here is, he has worked in different chains of hotels, various chains of hotels, and has worked in both operations as well as sales. Mr. Banerjee, would you share your journey with us, please?
Yeah, so the journey started in 1998 when I joined EC37, the then IIHM college. Very fond memories of those days from this building to that building. We all used to love the environment and our professors and guru. Thanks to Madam Bose, Mr. Bose, for giving us this guidance, and all our gurus, especially to groom us in such a manner in the industry that wherever we are is all because of them. So that's where the journey started in IIHM. And in fact, I meet a lot of IIHM students when they come for industrial training. I feel really, really happy to see the branding of IIHM. You feel really connected with IIHM. Yeah, so that's how it is. So I started my journey in 2001. I was selected with the Oberois. I was selected Oberoi Uday Vilas. Then I was selected at the Park Hotels as an operational trainee and JP Hotels as management trainee. So I decided to go ahead with the JP Hotels, and I joined them as management trainee in 2001. June 2001 is when I started my career in the hotel industry. September 2001 was the 9/11, and now is the COVID-19. So I can relate to what it was then and now. But that's okay. I was a management trainee, and I was in the operations for 2 years. But at that time, when the recession came in because of 9/11, I was parallelly moved to sales also to work in sales. And that's how my interest towards sales grew. And I moved to the sales department of JP Hotels. I was with JP for almost 4 years. From JP Agra, I moved to the regional office. I opened a regional office for them. And then I moved to the corporate office of JP Hotels, and I was working in sales. After my tenure of 4 years, then I moved to the ITC regional sales office in Delhi. That was definitely a great experience with JP, and then moved to ITC, looking after the corporate business and the travel tourism business. Then on, I moved from 1.5 to 2 years there. Then after that, I moved to the Carlson Hotels, which was Radisson Delhi. Radisson Delhi was again almost a year, looking after different segments. After Radisson Delhi, I moved to IHG in 2007. And from then till now, I am with IHG, and I'm very proud to be a part of IHG because that's where I grew from a sales manager to a general manager now. So that's about my journey so far at different levels. I joined as sales manager, then I became the director of sales. Then I did a pre-opening as a director of sales and marketing for 2 Crowne Plaza hotels. Then I moved back to Crowne Plaza, Gurgaon, again as a director of sales and marketing. I started doing operations because I wanted to become a general manager. So from sales, I moved to operations. I was the EM of the hotel, looking after the operations. And then 2016 is when I moved to Crowne Plaza, Kochi as the general manager. And that's about it.
Lovely. That's been a very interesting journey indeed, really, so far. How was your college days, back in, say, 98 to 2001, when you were here at IIHM? Any particular moments that you recall?
We definitely loved those days. Those 3 years were crucial years for us because we didn't knew what is hotel management before we joined. And once we joined, all of us, I'm still in touch with a lot of my batchmates. A lot of people have grown ladders in terms of entrepreneurs. So a lot of people have general managers, few people are executive chefs in a lot of international brands. Because of this lockdown situation, we were on the Zoom call recently with all my batchmates, and it was really, really nice to see everyone. Those 3 years were really life. I would say those 3 years were the life turning for all of us, because what happened in those 3 years is when we got an exposure to the industry was different and what it is now. Because that time in 2001, when we passed out, the industry was operating in a different manner, and now the industry operates in a completely different manner. I would say we all know about BC and AC, which is before Christ and after Christ, right? Now it's before COVID and after COVID. So
absolutely, yes.
So we
it's the other way around, yeah.
Yeah. So those were the days. I think 2001 to 2010, the industry was growing in a different pace. The technology took over slowly and gradually. When we started, obviously, it was not so much of technology. But then now everything is on technology. So things are completely different as to 2001 and now in 2020. And things are going to be different in future because with this of social distancing, because of this COVID, technology is going to play a very, very important role in all our lives. I think the graduates who will be passing out now, and when they go to the hotels, they will see a new hotel operations completely, because it will not be the same as what it used to be. Of course, our business is into personalization and experience. That's hospitality. For the time being, till the vaccine is not coming out, I think social distancing plus technology is going to play a very, very important role. Obviously, once the vaccine is back, the expectation from the guests and the guest experience is all about personalization, creating an experience that will definitely come back in times to move ahead. But at the moment, for a couple of months, I think that's something which we need to look at. How do we develop ourselves? How do we create the change in the industry? How do we get into the new SOPs of operations? So now, in my case, the hotel is about to open in next couple of days. So we are going through the reopening SOPs and making new formats for everything, new ways of operations, starting from the F&B to the kitchen to housekeeping. Safety and security is the most important. And hygiene, obviously, for every guest, whoever is coming to the hotel, everyone would like to know what are we doing as a brand, as a hotel, to ensure the safety of these guests. So a lot of focus on cleanliness, hygiene, sanitization, starting from the check-in to the checkout, mobile check-in. Even the elevators will be operated through the QR codes. The payments will be done through QR codes. The guests can order all the food and everything from IRD from the code. So you don't have a one-on-one interaction. It will be all contactless interaction for the next few days. And slowly and gradually, this will become a norm, the new normal. Obviously, the personalization will come back, in my opinion, because that's all about hospitality. Yeah.
Right. Right. It's very heartening, in fact, to see that your hotel would be opening up soon. And that's really, really very, very heartening, really, to see how it come back. And yes, a lot of changes, all right, yes, for the youngsters. I mean, when you are to recruit, you joined as a management trainee. And if you were to recruit a management trainee today, what are the attributes that you look for?
The most important thing when you go for an interview and when you meet somebody, the interview panel, is how do you carry yourself. First and the foremost is how do you enter the room, how do you carry yourself, which obviously we were told at the time when we were in the college, how do you present yourself, how do you carry yourself is the most important thing. Your personality, the moment you enter the room, the interviewer or the interview panel will look at you, your grooming, your confidence, the way you walk. The moment you start interacting with the interview panel, that's the first impression about the candidate. Right. The moment you start talking, the moment you start giving the interview, what are you talking? How well you say, what's the communication you have? What kind of grooming you have? What is the job knowledge you have? How do you understand the questions of the panel? What kind of an answer you give? All these things are very, very important, because what makes a difference is your attitude. And attitude doesn't come all of a sudden, because we all hear that it is about attitude. Attitude comes with passion. If you know what you want to do, if you love your job, if you know how you want to grow in your life, if you have an aim, you will obviously talk in those lines. Otherwise, it will be a very generic approach towards the interview. So very important is to carry yourself well. As we say, how you should know how to sell yourself, right? So once you're sitting there in front of the interview panel, you should know what you're talking. Why the interview panel should select you. That's the most important thing. It's not only you. There are other colleges, there are other students who are coming there for interview. You have to be unique. You have to talk with all passion. You have to share your thoughts, what you want to do, how you want to do. In fact, in our hotel, what we do is even for the industrial trainees or interns, we in fact look at the curriculum, what they're doing for 6 months, and the candidates who are very, very good, we shortlist those candidates and then we get them back. I personally interview everybody because I want to see the personality, the grooming of anyone joining the organization. Half of the freshers, when they're coming, they have already been trained with us. So they understand the culture, right. They understand the values, they know what is expected out of them. And that is when it makes a lot of difference for the organization to fulfill the guest requirements, fulfill the objectives of the organization.
Right, absolutely right. I think really well said. Keeping all this in perspective, as you just mentioned, what tips would you like to give to the students who would be graduating?
I think the most important thing is they have to believe in themselves. Now with this current scenario, people know that the industry is going through a tough time, but this is going to get over. This is not going to be a permanent feature. I'll just give you an example. When I came to Kerala in 2016, 2017 was the first time the floods happened in so many years. 2018, again, the floods happened. 2019, there was some Nipah virus came. So these kind of issues and problems will keep on occurring in business. It's not about how you take it, it's about how you handle it. What's your approach towards it? I think it is very important that you need to believe in yourself. You need to be proactive. You need to be smart enough. If you are a go-getter and you need to understand what you need to do proactively, I think you will survive. If you are a reactive person, you just wait and watch and think that somebody will tell me what to do and then I'll do it, then it's going to be difficult.
Right.
It is very important for the students who are passing out to understand that current situation may be a little tough, but it's not going to be this long. We are all going to come back very, very fast. We'll bounce back faster and better because technology is changing. Once they come to the hotels, they will see a new world. And that's when they will be able to adapt to it. Adaptability is the most important thing now. Just wait, be patient. I don't think that you need to be worried about the current scenario because this is a time-phased scenario. As I mentioned, Kerala, there were floods, 2 months, there was nothing happening here, but then we bounced back very, very strong and we did far, far better than what we used to do earlier. It's all about how you take things, how proactive you are, your attitude towards the business, and just be positive. I don't think it's going to be very difficult.
Right. I think very rightly said, one does face challenges as you move along in different phases of your life. And it's just a question of how you face those challenges, how you approach those issues. Like you yourself rightly said, you face so many challenges right down from floods to 9/11 floods to now COVID-19. So it's all about how you face it and how proactively you take your stance and resolve that issue, any issues that you come by. I think that's absolutely correct.
Everybody, whether professional or personal, there are challenges in everybody's life, right? Ups and downs are supposed to happen. It's the way you take it. Either you make it or you break it. So just be positive, right? So.
And that depends upon your attitude, as you rightly said.
That's very important for anyone
joining the industry.
The moment you take the ownership, the moment you're engaged, you're confident of what you're doing, you will be back soon.
Absolutely right. I think very rightly said. What advice would you have for students who possibly are considering hospitality as a career and thinking about joining hotel management right now? What advice would you have for them?
See, tourism, hotel management, tourism is an industry in India where we have 60 to 70 million people working in this industry. Whether it is airline, whether it is hotels or cruise ships or related industries, right? So it is a huge, huge number. And my experience with last 20 years, I would just like to say that this is one industry, if you love it, if you join the industry with passion, you will grow. And I can just tell you that year on year, you must be seeing that all the international brands are coming to India, expanding from A city to B to C. Definitely, there's a lot of scope. Definitely, the business is expanding. The economy at this moment may be slightly down, but then year on year, the economy is growing. So the point is, expansion is happening in the hotels. Airlines are increasing. Tourism is increasing. The tourism body is focusing a lot in terms of promoting the destinations. Very, very important that you take it in a right way. You should join the industry with an approach that it will take some time. If you want to make an omelette, you have to break the egg. So you need to struggle a little bit, right? You cannot just think that I joined the hotel management and I finished hotel management and tomorrow I'll become a manager. That's not the case. Of course, there are brilliant students, but at the same time, you need to struggle a bit, a couple of years. And if it all depends on your attitude, your approach, how genuine you are in your approach, it will make a difference. The management, when we look at our employees or colleagues, we look at how they have been performing. What's their performance? How genuine are they in their approach? What's their relationship with the clients? The clients comes in the hotel because of our relationship. Every hotel has the same kind of service, but what makes a difference is your genuine approach. And automatically you need to get connected with people. If you're connected, if you're engaged, you'll be able to do well.
Absolutely. I think that's very, very important. It's the connect and your interpersonal skills and your relationship with each other, right down from your internal customers and your external customers, employees as well as guests. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Technology today, as you rightly said, has a very, very important role in the hotel industry and would be doing so even more as we move along. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in the industry over the past, many, I think more than 2 decades, really.
Sure. So, right? Yeah, technology obviously is the key now.
Right.
10 years back, we never thought that there will be mobile check-ins. We never thought that there will be QR codes or the payments will be done through QR code. You don't have to access the EDC machines. Things are changing. Right. So even at the elevator, you don't have to touch the buttons. You just have to put the QR code on your mobile phone and then you go to your floor. So things are technology definitely has made a lot of change in everybody's life, whether personal or professional. And this change definitely, as we say, change is constant, change is happening. It will be for better and for bigger and better future for all of us.
Absolutely. And I think, it's never really hard work, even though, yes, I guess many years back it was, you need to be at the age of 50 when you become a general manager. Today, youngsters such as yourself, one becomes a general manager at a fairly young age, really. And then again in hotels, I think if you enjoy what you're doing, there's just so many areas that you can work in. One can utilize so many strengths that if you enjoy doing what you're doing, and it's never really hard work then.
What I would say is when in 2001, when I joined the industry at that point of time meeting, and with all due respect to the general managers then, it was a difficult ballgame to go and just meet the general manager. It was just like a big thing to happen that you're meeting the general manager. The things are changing. The transparency, the connect with the employees is very, very important. The more you connect with employees, the take care of your colleagues. The communication is the open communication between the HR, the management, as well as the communication with the colleagues. It's going to make a lot of difference. In fact, in our hotel, we do a coffee break with all the new joiners after a couple of months, after 1 month or 2 months, actually 90 days, to ask them how they're feeling in the organization, what's their feedback. So that gives us a lot of ideas. So they come from different hotels or maybe some freshers. That is how you connect. So they feel the value of being in the system. And that's when the productivity increases. That's when the connect increases. And that's when you grow with the organization, when the organization is growing.
Absolutely, yes. Wonderful. It's been lovely talking with you, Mr. Banerjee. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are in discussion with Mr. Shuvendu Banerjee. Lovely speaking to you. Any parting words that you'd like to share?
To all my young IIHMites, I would love to meet you all once in a while whenever you come cross by the hotels. Be positive, do well, and the most important thing is believe in yourself. I think professors and IIHM as a college is one of the best colleges, I would love to say, because I still have my IIHM production journal with me because I love to keep it with me. So that's the connection I have with IIHM. I see my students or the college guys who come to the hotels personally. I think very, very important for all of you is to understand that this industry is one of the most vibrant industry. Do well. Thank you so much, Ritu, and thanks to Madam Bose, Mr. Bose, and thanks for giving me this platform once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Banerjee. Thank you for taking time out, and wish you all the best as you reopen your hotel.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're signing out from the IIHM Kolkata studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Have a lovely evening.